Market Fresh, broadcasting live from San Luis Obispo. Here's your host, Randall White.
Yes, indeed. It is 5 o'clock straight up on this Thursday evening here on Crush 92.5 FM. Always terrific to have you with us. We've got another great Market Fresh hour ahead for you, featuring the freshest food and beverage trends here on the beautiful Central Coast. We'll also be talking about why this Thursday in particular is such an incredibly special day. But before we do that, I need to let you know that this portion of Eat, Drink, Explore Radio is brought to you by Eberle Winery in Paso Robles, open daily from 10 in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. Oh, I'm sorry, 5 o'clock, because we're now in standard time, with complimentary wine tasting and cave tours. You know, Eberle has been voted by Wine Spectator as one of the best tours on the Central Coast, and if you saw Wine Enthusiast recently, you know that Paso Robles itself is the best wine region in the world. So you've got the best wine region and then one of the best wine tours all in one place. Eberle, located on 46 East in Paso Robles. You can log on to eberlewinery.com for more information. That's EBERLE winery.com. Okay, why is today such a special Thursday? Well, it's the third Thursday of November, and that means it's significant in the wine world, specifically France, where the Beaujolais Nouveau is released to a thirsty public. Here in California, there are wineries that do have Beaujolais Nouveau parties where wine from France is shipped over and held to open on that very day. And in some cases, but not very many, there are local wineries that also make their own version of the wine. That's the case at Adelaida Cellars in Paso Robles, where they make a Gamay Beaujolais Nouveau using 1 full acre of local grapes. Joining us on the Market Fresh live line right now is Paul Sowerby. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name right, Paul. He's a manager there at Adelaida. How you doing?
Hi, Randall. How are you?
Terrific. Thank you. Did I get your last name right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, good. So explain for us a bit about the significance of this annual release, both by you, but primarily what's going on in France today.
Yes, so, loathed as I am to give credit to the French, I have to in this particular case. So, the region in France is the Beaujolais region. It's sort of south of Champagne, north of Burgundy, if you will, where the predominantly red wine, and the grape there is the Gamay grape. And Beaujolais, has a mixed reputation, I would say. So it's the Beaujolais Nouveau, or the new Beaujolais, if you will, has been a bit of a double-edged sword insofar as this particular style is an incredibly fresh, fruity, youthful, easygoing wine, to the extent that it actually is the first wine to be released of this year. So it's a red wine from 2013. So, these were grapes on the vine, but 6-8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's, typically red wines are, aged in a barrel for, a year, maybe 2 years. But the Beaujolais Nouveau is fired up and ready to go in a matter of weeks as opposed to a matter of years.
I would imagine being this young of a wine, it might be a good marker for things to come for this year.
Yes, I think that's certainly a fair comment indeed. To get back to your first question, so that tradition in France dictates that the Beaujolais Nouveau, made in this very fresh, easygoing style, can be released no sooner than the third Thursday of November. So that's where that tradition comes from. I think it started in the 60s.
Yeah.
And so there is more to Beaujolais than the Nouveau, but the one that gets a lot of international press and acclaim is the Nouveau.
Is this one. Paul, we only have about 20 seconds left. You guys have a dinner there tonight?
Yeah, the dinner is on Saturday night, so, we think it's more conducive to people.
Yeah.
This is one of the best Nouveaux we've made. We have 1 acre. It's actually old vine Nouveau. The vineyard is an old vineyard from the 60s.
That.
Yeah,
What's old is new again. Paul, I gotta stop it right there. I apologize. Adelaida Cellars, Paul Sowerby. We're back in a moment. Sidecar Restaurant in downtown San Luis Obispo, where the month of November takes on a whole new theme. General Manager, owner Josh Christensen, why are the next few weeks so important?
Well, Randall, we're really excited to be participating in Movember. I'm sure some people are familiar with the idea of the No Shave November, growing out your mustache to raise awareness for men's health issues. We here at Sidecar are going to do that with a little twist as well.
And the twist is a mohawk?
That is correct. We figured we'd go Movember. So mustaches, mohawks for the guys. Even some of our Mo sisters here at the restaurant are going to be rocking a mohawk for the month of November. And it's all to raise awareness for men's health issues and try to raise some money for cancer research.
Sidecar Restaurant, downtown San Luis Obispo. Online, sidecarslo.com. Josh Christensen, General Manager, owner at Sidecar Restaurant. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Randall. We'll see you at the restaurant.
You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network.
Fabulous.
Live with the very latest food, beverage, and travel trends.
Amazing.
Now here's the host of our show, Mr. Randall White.
Hello, my good friends, and a very good day to you. It is now 6 minutes past the hour. You've arrived at California's number one place to talk about our state's food and beverage scene with a local, seasonal, and sustainable focus. This is Eat, Drink, Explore Radio's Market Fresh Hour. It's our goal each week to put you in touch with the farmers who grow, the producers who make, and the people who know about your favorite food and drink. Later on today's program, it's olive harvest season here in California. We'll speak with a Central Coast grower who moved their orchard operation, trees and all. That's a huge undertaking. From the Sierra Nevada foothills to the company's current location in Creston. That's in San Luis Obispo County, far eastern San Luis County. We'll also talk about what it takes to make good oil here in California and the upcoming Harvest Fair in San Jose, where many of these oils will be available for tasting and in gift presentations for Christmas presents. Always great to have some ideas along those lines. Also, we'll get an update on the USDA's Farm to School program with a series of grant awards announced just recently, including hundreds of thousands of dollars for a handful of California schools with some remarkable programs to improve student nutrition and source the food from local farms. Put the kids in direct contact with where their food is coming from. You know, when I ate school lunches as a child, it was just, anybody's guess where the milk came from, where the apples came from, that sort of thing. But no, in this case, the students know directly where the farms are, and in many cases go out to the farms and see the produce being grown. It's fantastic programs, several of them, and we'll go down a list of the schools that have received some of this grant money. But first up this hour, it is our regular Cook Well with Courtney segment. Courtney Coleman, of course, is the woman behind cookwell.org, and she always has a lot of great information for us. Welcome to the program, Courtney.
Thanks, Randall.
And last week, we spoke a little bit about acidic foods versus non-acidic foods, I guess.
Well, no.
No?
Acid forming versus alkaline forming.
Versus alkaline forming. And,
Right.
after we spoke, I was online and I was looking at some different things, and I stumbled upon this website with some top nutritionists that were basically mirroring what you were saying on the different foods that are acid forming. And I thought, wow, Courtney was right on the money with all that. So not that I questioned you. I just was like, wow, look at this. It's totally backed up by a lot of top sources, and we're getting it straight from you, as always. One of the things that you mentioned is coffee. Coffee's an acid-forming food, huh?
Yes, very acid-forming to the body. And just to review, foods can be acidic outside the body and in their whole food state, like a lemon, orange, tomato, are acidic foods, but because they're whole foods, they're good for us. Therefore, in the body, they're actually alkaline forming. So don't be confused by that. But we could review also the acid forming foods are the white flour, white sugar, coffee, commercially raised meats, and alcohol.
So how does the body know the difference between like a meat that's commercially raised and something that is more, grass fed and
when it's raised on corn, and we all know about the dangers of GMO corn these days. But when beef is raised on corn, it becomes like a high glycemic meat to the body. Yeah. This is all, I get all this information from Mercola.com, Dr. Joseph Mercola, who's excellent.
He is excellent. He has a few controversial things out there that are a little bit wingnut, but he's, for the most part, I think he's got some great ideas.
Yeah, he's pretty radical, but he's right on with so much stuff that I love him as a resource. Also, the Weston Price Foundation.
Right.
But, yeah.
Go ahead.
Coffee.
No, continue.
Should we talk about coffee or?
Yes. Well, one of the things that I want to talk about before we go into the commercial break, so between now and a quarter past the hour, we can talk about how to de-acidify your coffee grounds. So this is after you've already ground the beans, right? And then before the brewing process.
Okay, well, basically pre-roasted and then pre-ground coffee. What's out there everywhere, what we get at the grocery store, what we get at Starbucks, pre-roasted and pre-ground coffee tends to swing our body's pH way over to the acidic end of the pH spectrum. So for health, our pH should be 80% alkaline and only 20% acidic. So try to keep acid-forming foods to just 20% of the diet, and then whole foods, nuts, beans, seeds, grains, seasonal, regional vegetables, fruits, to the other 80%, and you're doing good. But for a zero acid effect for your coffee, roast the beans yourself, then grind and steep them immediately.
Is there an easy way to roast them yourself?
Well, my friend Bob Sachs, who has a business called Diamond Way Ayurveda, and I'm going to talk about one of his awesome products in a minute for making coffee healthier for you. But he has a coffee roaster. It looks like an old-fashioned popcorn popper.
That's what I've heard, that people use popcorn poppers.
Yeah, you can get raw coffee beans, roast them yourself, grind them and steep them immediately for a zero acid effect. I think as the minutes tick by, it just tends to become oxidized and rancid, and then it's like acid forming to the pH the longer you let it sit.
So the more recently you can roast it, the better. And those old hot air, well, I guess I say old, I imagine they still make them, but the hot air popcorn poppers can be used to roast coffee beans. I've seen that now on many occasions. Yeah.
Awesome. And then grinding it and steeping it immediately too. And then I remind people to flush each cup of coffee, whether it's immediately roasted and steeped or it's been sitting around and it's acid forming. Rinse every cup of coffee out of your kidneys with at least 8 ounces of water afterwards. Just a really good rule of thumb. And there is an Ayurvedic or East Indian spice blend that will help neutralize that acid-forming effect of coffee on your pH and lessen its harmful effect on your kidneys.
So when we get back from the commercial break, I want to talk about what is Ayurveda. Ayurveda and things that are Ayurvedic, right? That's the adjective.
Yes.
And then what exactly are those spices that go into that? In terms of roasting your coffee immediately or as close to the point when you drink it as possible, I've noticed at a couple of different farmers markets recently that they have coffee roasting going on there at the market. The Saturday morning.
Awesome.
Yeah, the Saturday morning one that I go to in San Luis Obispo, there you can smell it, when you get out of your car, and I just love that they're roasting it right there. So look for it at your market if you don't have it there.
Yeah, you could bring it. You bring a little paper bag, make a wax paper bag or something, and take it home and put it in your freezer, and that would be pretty close to immediately roasted.
And so, in terms of types of coffee, you know what? We've hit the commercial break here. So, but we'll get to all of that, including the spice blend you were mentioning, and we'll dive into Ayurveda. Ayurveda. Yes. We're talking with Courtney Coleman of cookwell.org. You're listening to the Market Fresh Show, and we're back in just a moment.
2013 Harvest Festival Original Art and Craft Show is coming soon. From handmade earrings to hand-pressed olive oil, you'll find it at the 2013 Harvest Festival. With over 24,000 handmade American crafts, delicious food, and live entertainment, it's fun for the whole family. The original and the best. The Harvest Festival Art and Craft Show, Friday through Sunday, November 29th through December 1st at the San Jose Convention Center.
In most parts of the country, autumn means falling leaves and cool or even cold days. But in Palm Springs, it's the kickoff for the area's fun season with warm, sunny days and exciting, vibrant nights. Right at the center of everything is the newly renovated, all-suite Hyatt Palm Springs, a classic resort property that sits at the base of the San Jacinto Mountains. The resort features in-room spa services, a poolside bar, cabanas, and the Share small plate bistro and wine lounge. Also, just steps away, world-class shopping, some of the state's best dining options, and for a limited time, the famous Forever Maryland statue. Make your next destination Palm Springs, and while you're there, make your home the all-suite Hyatt. Get the best rates online at HyattPalmSprings.com. That's Hyatt, Hyatt, PalmSprings.com.
The 2013 Harvest Festival Original Art and Craft Show is coming soon. From handmade earrings to hand-pressed olive oil, you'll find it at the 2013 Harvest Festival. With over 24,000 handmade American crafts, delicious food, and live entertainment, it's fun for the whole family. The original and the best. The Harvest Festival Art and Craft Show, Friday through Sunday, November 29th through December 1st at the San Jose Convention Center.
"19 minutes past the hour now. Great to have you with us, everyone. I'm your host, Randall White, and you are listening to the Market Fresh Hour, part of Eat, Drink, Explore Media, and always great to have you with us. Today, we are speaking with our good friend Courtney Coleman of Cookwell.org, and Courtney is giving us the skinny on coffee, and I mean, you know, asking people to cut coffee out of their diet is next to impossible. So Why not make it as healthy as possible? Right, Courtney? That's the plan?
Yeah, and it can be a healthful thing in moderation and with these simple principles or steps.
So we talked about in the last segment that coffee is an acid-forming food versus alkaline-forming food. It doesn't have to be as acid-forming, though, right? And the first thing you do is to de-acidify. Acidify.
Right.
I'm not talking well. My tongue is tied today. Your coffee grounds. And one key to doing that is to roast them as close as possible to the point that you grind them.
Yeah. The sooner you roast it and grind it immediately and steep it immediately, the less acid forming it is to the body's pH.
And then also to drink an equal amount of water following the coffee that you consume.
Twice as much water,
actually. Twice as much.
At least flush each cup of coffee out of your kidneys with 8 ounces purified water. Oh, we could get into water, too, but let's just stick to coffee today.
We will stick to coffee today. And then you mentioned the Ayurvedic spice blend. Did I say that right?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
good.
East Indian philosophy of eating and living in harmony with nature according to your particular body type, which is huge. We are also biochemically different, ancestrally, metabolically. Don't get me started.
And we're moving along those lines here in the West.
Oh, yeah. People are tuning into it. They're experimenting with blood typing. They're experimenting with metabolic typing. They're experimenting with Ayurvedic typing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll let you know those spices you can roast your coffee or you can steep your fresh ground coffee with to give it a gentler effect on the kidneys and make it so it's less acid forming.
Okay, so let's go down them one at a time. People might want to write these down.
Well, and I also posted it on my website. If you go to the bottom of the page that's about Courtney, then you'll see it at the bottom. It's called Coffee Good, is what I call it.
I like that. Coffee Good. At the bottom of the About Courtney at cookwell.org.
Yes. It's like the second page on the site. Just scroll down to the bottom, you'll see it. But it's basically a half cup fresh roasted coffee beans with 2 almonds, 3 whole cloves, 3 whole cardamom pods, 1 stick cinnamon, and 2 star anise pods. So it's sort of this like Christmassy, spicy, lovely flavor.
Yeah, that sounds good this time of year.
Yeah, and you can get all these spices in bulk, as much or as little as you want, either at the Secret Garden Organic Herb Shop in San Luis Obispo, or at most natural food stores. They have an herb spice section for medicinal herbs at the Co-op in SLO. I think it's called SLO Natural Foods now.
Mm-hmm.
But they have all these wonderful spices for healing on the left in glass jars on the wall, in the wall. And then, it's like a rack against the wall, but they're all glass mason jars full of all these wonderful herbs and spices. And then on the right-hand side is all your culinary herbs and spices.
I love that Secret Garden.
I know. Kirsten's a dear friend of mine. It's such a wonderful resource.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
And if you're listening in Santa Cruz right now, or Monterey, San Jose, any of the other cities where our show is heard, it's a simple Google search for a spice store near you. These are the ones that just happen to be close to us. But definitely stop in if you are going through San Luis Obispo. It's a wonderful experience. So cute, right there on the creek.
And she's outside. It's like an outdoor garden shop.
Unlike any other shop you're going to encounter, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you can tell her, I've been having sleeplessness. I've been having gout. I've been having whatever. And she can direct you to herbs that will heal you, and she can even make us a particular tea blend for your particular needs.
Yeah, she did that when, like a year ago, we were there, and one of us was getting over a stomach flu, and we still have some of that in the pantry. Okay, so let's go through these ingredients and explain why each one of these is a good addition to the coffee steeping. Starting with two raw almonds. So are you grinding all of this up with the coffee beans, or are you just putting...
Exactly.
Okay.
You're grinding it with your half cup fresh roasted coffee beans.
All right.
And I don't know the actual chemistry of each of these ingredients, but I just know that it's an Ayurvedic secret.
Okay.
2 almonds, 3 whole cloves, 3 cardamom pods, 1 stick cinnamon, 2 star anise pods.
What's a cardamom pod?
Cardamom is a spice that's on the sweet side. It's a lot like coriander, but it's just this interesting flavor that's in a lot of curries.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to mention you can get something called Shakti shots at New Frontiers here in SLO, or if you go to Diamond Way Ayurveda, it's a website my friends Bob and Melanie here in SLO have a 2-ounce bottle of this spice blend in a liquid. It's the extracts of these spices, and you can add like 4 or 5 drops to your coffee to make it easier on your kidneys and not so acid forming to the pH.
Yeah, if you don't have all of this stuff sitting around. I know we don't have any cardamom pods in our kitchen, but maybe we should. I need to look these up. I hadn't even heard of that before. So a lot of people have sticks of cinnamon around this time of year. Mm-hmm. And then star anise. Enlighten us on star anise.
I don't know much about its healing properties. I could, but I'm not an herbalist.
Oh, okay. No, that's all right.
I'm a Whole Foods cooking guide.
And so, but star anise, in my mind, I know what anise is like. I just don't know if star anise is different than that, but.
There's a third thing you can do to coffee if you have pre-roasted coffee. And even pre-ground, there's a really simple trick you can do to it. You can soak it, basically. So to your 1 pound fresh ground coffee, put 8 cups of water in a glass bowl and just leave it sitting in the bottom of that bowl under that 8 cups of fresh water for 16 hours. And just on the countertop at room temperature, covered with a dish towel, is fine. And then the next day, you strain that dark liquid off, just the liquid part, into a jar, and just keep it in your fridge for up to 2 weeks. And that is like a coffee extract. So during that time, you can add 1 to 2 tablespoons of this concentrated, de-acidified coffee extract to your 8-ounce cup of hot water for a perky cup of de-acidified coffee.
Now, back up for me because I missed the very first part of that. You're soaking the coffee beans in water? Or the grounds?
The grounds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's ideal if you're fresh grinding it, but again, this will even help pre-ground coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, fresh ground ideally, but just 8 cups water to 1 pound of the grounds. Just soaked for 16 hours, de-acidifies it, and you just pour off the liquid, and you've got this wonderful coffee extract.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, it's super simple, right?
It's really simple.
Yeah. So there's all these resources, all these ways you can do it.
And so I'm looking at this list of items that we put in with the coffee, the only thing I'm just not a big fan of are cloves. I wish there was an alternative to cloves. I
know it's strong. I know.
Don't know what it is. I just, I don't hate cloves, but I like them in very, very small amounts.
Do you have a bad taste in your mouth from when you smoked a clove in high school and threw up?
Oh, yeah. You know what? I grew up in the mid-'80s, and smoking cloves was a big deal.
Oh, my God, they're horrible for you.
Yeah, I didn't, but I always seemed to be around people that were smoking them, and it would go right in my face. And
yeah.
it can really
with the almond and the cardamom and the cinnamon and the star anise, it blends better. It's not like a strong clove flavor. It's in there, but it's not overwhelming, to me anyway.
Maybe I would just not grind them and just put the cloves in whole.
Yeah, and so you're just getting a subtle clove effect.
I like that idea. All right, Courtney Coleman, everything she mentioned is on her website, as she mentioned, at the bottom of the About page at cookwell.org. Courtney, thank you. Plus, she teaches classes, and you can find her schedule on there for that. Courtney, always great to have you on here.
Thank you, Randall. Happy Thanksgiving, hon.
Likewise. All right, everyone, stick around. You're listening to the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. We're talking olives right after this. Randall White here at Sidecar Restaurant in downtown San Luis Obispo, where the month of November takes on a whole new theme. General Manager, owner Josh Christensen, why are the next few weeks so important?
Well, Randall, we're really excited to be participating in Movember. I'm sure some people are familiar with the idea of the No Shave November, growing out your mustache to raise awareness for men's health issues. We here at Sidecar are going to do that with a little twist as well.
And the twist is a mohawk?
That is correct. We figured we'd go Movember. So mustaches, mohawks for the guys. Even some of our Mo sisters here at the restaurant are going to be rocking a mohawk for the month of November. And it's all to raise awareness for men's health issues and try to raise some money for cancer research.
Sidecar Restaurant, downtown San Luis Obispo. Online, sidecarslo.com. Josh Christensen, General Manager, owner at Sidecar Restaurant. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you, Randall. We'll see you at the restaurant.
Seems everybody's going organic, including lawn care. Did you know communities across the country are converting their lawns, playgrounds, and playing fields to an organic care program? And it's working. You can safely control weeds and pests and have a beautiful lawn. Your kids, pets, and water supplies will be safer, and your neighbors will be green with envy. Oh, and in the long run, organic lawn care is cheaper than doing it the conventional way. Switch to organic lawn care today. Visit pesticidefreelawns.org. The folks who brought you this public service message. Check out pesticidefreelawns.org today.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
And a hello, everyone. Welcome back to the program. I am your host, Randall White. This is Eat, Drink, Explore Radio's Market Fresh Hour. It is now 33 minutes past the hour. Great to have you with us today, as always. And I should let you know that this portion of Eat, Drink, Explore's Market Fresh Hour is brought to you by Sidecar Restaurant in downtown San Luis Obispo on Broad between Higuera and Marsh Streets, right there in the heart of the downtown. And whether you're considering heading out for brunch on a Sunday or just after the farmer's market or during the farmer's market on a Thursday evening, Sidecar is the place to be, and it should be at the top of your list. Sidecar has a constantly changing seasonal menu with some favorites that get carried over, of course. Lots of local ingredients and a wide array of vegan and vegetarian dishes, plus plenty of meat for the omnivores out there. And throughout the month of November, it is Movember. You'll have to check out the staff there. They have they're growing mustaches for men's health, and some of the staff, even the women, they took Mo one step further, and they have mohawks. So give them a thumbs up and say hello at Sidecar. Let them know you heard about it on the radio. Okay, so it is November, and we are rounding out all of harvest season here in California, and thought this would be a good time to meet one of the artisan producers in the state, specifically one that has relocated to the Central Coast from the Sierra foothills. Joining us on the Eat, Drink, Explore Market Fresh Live line right now is Marti Menacho with Olivas de Oro Olive Company in Creston. And welcome to the program, Marti.
Hi, Randall. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that.
I think your story is fascinating because you took 100-plus-year-old trees that were planted more than a century ago there in the Sierra and moved them all the way to Creston, which is in North County, San Luis Obispo. That had to be a huge undertaking.
It was, yeah. I always thought that my husband was a maniac, but when he told me that he was planning on doing this, I just didn't know what to think next.
Right. So I guess to back up even farther, your husband was a bit of a foodie because he found himself in restaurants quite a bit, right?
Right, yeah. Our previous business before opening Olivas de Oro 13 years ago was a fish brokerage business. And he personally fished and had other boats fishing up and down the California coast for him, and he delivered to restaurants.
In the Monterey area and the South Bay and in that region, correct?
Yeah, anywhere. The boats were anywhere from Santa Barbara to San Francisco.
Okay. And so when he then decided that olives would be the deal, I guess you started in the Sierra foothills. How did you end up in Creston?
Well, we've been coming to the Central Coast for at least the last 25 years. We were young and newly married and starting our families in Santa Cruz, and a really good friend of ours decided to move to the Central Coast to have more of a wholesome life. Mm-hmm. So we started visiting them, and at first we thought they were crazy because we were, so cool and in Santa Cruz. And then every year we came to visit them, and found that we fell in love with it over time.
Creston's beautiful. I used to help judge a chili cook-off there every October that raised money for a local scholarship fund. The people are just fantastic. So we are rounding out olive harvest season. Am I correct on that?
We're really kind of just starting it.
Oh, okay.
Olives start right after we finish with the grape harvest around here, and we're just starting to harvest and just starting to press our new olive oil.
So I'm hitting you at a busy time, and I know that some of the trees you've planted are Arbequina, which I got to tell you is my favorite varietal when it comes to olive oil. I love Arbequina. It's a Spanish oil.
It is. In fact, all of our varietals are all Spanish. We've got Mission, Sevillano, and Arbequina.
And does that just seem to fit the terroir of the region a little bit better?
No, there's a lot of Italian grapes. Olives in the area as well too. Mm-hmm. In fact, my husband puts in orchards and smaller plantings and stuff for wineries, and a lot of times they choose the Italian varietals.
More and more people are using olive oil, and there was just an article out the other day that I saw in the Sacramento Bee that was talking about how extra virgin olive oil isn't necessarily extra virgin, especially when it comes from overseas, but that California is pretty much on the mark when it comes to extra virgin. How do local producers police themselves on that?
Yeah, that is one of the most difficult things is to, is the consumer awareness about what's good and what's not. Mm-hmm. In California, we have the California Olive Oil Council, which is a nonprofit, works with legislation, et cetera. But they also have a tasting panel. And with the tasting panel, you have to submit your oils for a sensory evaluation and also a chemical evaluation to ensure that they truly are extra virgin. Oh. And then if you pass, then you get to put their seal on your bottle. And that's how the consumers know that this was a quality olive oil.
So that's something to look for is the tasting seal.
Right, the California Olive Oil Council seal.
Oh, and your husband sits on that council too?
He does, yeah. He's been on the taste panel since 1982.
That's fantastic. Marti, tell me, your products I know are available in a wide range of places, including restaurants and shops. You have, in terms of retail locations, lots of places you can be picked up that's in our listening area, including, let's see here, Cambria, Los Gatos, Paso Robles. I'm just looking down the list.
Yeah, we started our business really before we moved the trees. We were in the San Francisco Bay Area, so we have a number of stores in that area. And now that we've moved a little further south, we're starting to do some retail stores here. We Olive is one that's located throughout California, and we're in all of their stores. We do a couple different farmers markets as well too, and you can find the locations on our website.
Yeah, which is olivasdeoro.com. And I see that you're at River Cafe and Cheese Shop in Santa Cruz, which is a great place.
Yeah.
So, quickly, one more thing about your olive company. Do you have a tasting room if people find themselves in the Creston area?
We do. We have a tasting room that's open Friday through Monday from 11 to 5. We do a lot of things out there. In fact, one of the things that we do is an olive oil club. So we have club pickup parties, and we try to incorporate food really into everything we do.
Mm-hmm. And that is, olives and wine and food are all becoming really big and all pretty much tied together. It seems like where there's good olive growing regions, they are hand in hand with great grape regions, right?
Right. And you see that, it's coming over from Europe. And in fact, there's quite a few wineries around our area that have, small plantings of olives as well, too, that they label their olive oil.
So you will be attending the upcoming San Jose Harvest Festival, November 29th through December 1st. What's that like to be able to see that many people at one time and talk about your product?
It's great because I think that's, like I said, that's the challenge, is getting the word out to the public.
Yeah.
And it's not just, seeing a shelf full of olive oils, because you can go to lots of stores and just see it stacked up, but really kind of understanding and learning what it is and how to use it and tasting it, because they all have different flavors. As you said, you love the Arbequina. Imagine 10 years ago, you wouldn't even know what an olive oil varietal is.
No. I absolutely would not have. 10 years ago, I had heard of, virgin and extra virgin, but in terms of varietals, I just figured there was, one size fits all.
Yeah, we started off in the wine, industry, and you ordered red or white, right?
Yeah, right.
Then you figured out that you liked different varietals, and you figured out that you liked different regions, and I think the same sort of trend is happening with olive oil.
And when it comes to different types of varietals of olive oil, I would imagine that some work better as finishing oils, like on top of salads or some appetizers, and some work better for cooking.
Yeah, you can cook with all of them, and they do have different flavor profiles, and I just advise people to think of it more like a seasoning as opposed to an oil or something else like that. I try to get people, when they first walk up to taste, and they're a little shy about tasting olive oil, I tell them, I'll make you a little salad dressing. We do a couple drops of the olive oil and a couple drops of the vinegar, and that doesn't seem strange for them to taste it that way. And then they kind of take off and they want to try everything. Right.
We're seeing video on the website right now, Marti, for people that are watching the show online at eatdrinkexplore.com. We're seeing video from the San Jose Harvest Festival. It must be hard to not break away from your booth to go check out some of the other things going on.
Well, yeah, we do have kind of what we call the vendor hour.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of, it's a Sunday afternoon or kind of late Saturday where it seems to slow down a little bit, and then we actually do our shopping at that time.
Now, I can't let you go without asking, since you said that the harvest is just getting underway, the wine harvest, I mean, the vintners are just over the moon about this year, saying that the weather conditions were perfect for really what may become one of the best seasons in recent memory. I would imagine that translates to olives as well. Everything's going well?
Things are going pretty well. I think we're getting counts in from northern and the central coast, and I think the harvest is going to be maybe a little down this year. We did have some heat right during the bloom time.
Yeah.
And if the flowers get too burnt, then they really don't make olives. So some of the people, I'm on the Central Coast Olive Growers Board. And we were just talking about yields yesterday, and some of my peers are either flat or a little lower than last year.
Marti Menacho, Olivas de Oro. Find her at the Harvest Festival, harvestfestival.com. Marti, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, stick around, everyone. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore. We're back in just a moment. You're listening to Eat, Drink, Explore. We're back in just a moment.
The 2013 Harvest Festival Original Art and Craft Show is coming soon. From handmade earrings to hand-pressed olive oil, you'll find it at the 2013 Harvest Festival. With over 24,000 handmade American crafts, delicious food, and live entertainment, it's fun for the whole family. The original and the best. The Harvest Festival Art and Craft Show. Friday through Sunday, November 29th through December 1st at the San Jose Convention Center.
With Eberle Winery, whether you're looking to host a private event or special occasion like a wedding or a birthday, the staff at Eberle will make sure you have great wine, good times, and memories to last a lifetime. Eberle Winery is open daily, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. with complimentary wine tasting so you can find the perfect wine to pair with your holiday gatherings. Bring in a new unwrapped toy and receive 20% off all wine purchases. Also, at Eberle, complimentary tours of the production facility and the world-famous Eberle Caves are held throughout the day. VIP tours and tastings are available for a unique and memorable experience. And coming in December, mark your calendars for the Eberle Winery Holiday Open House, Saturday, December 14th, noon till 4. There will be carolers, appetizers, and Gary's famous free barbecue. Visit Eberle Winery today to start planning your holidays.
Eberle Winery in the heart of Paso Robles wine country on Highway 46 East, just 3 miles from the 101. Find out more at eberlewinery.com.
The 2013 Harvest Festival Original Art and Craft Show is coming soon. From handmade earrings to hand-pressed olive oil, you'll find it at the 2013 Harvest Festival. With over 24,000 handmade American crafts, delicious food, and live entertainment, it's fun for the whole family. The original and the best. The Harvest Festival Art and Craft Show. Friday through Sunday, November 29th through December 1st at the San Jose Convention Center.
Welcome back to the program. It's now 49 minutes past the hour. Time for the final segment here of the Eat, Drink, Explore Market Fresh Hour. And keep in mind, one extra full hour of great food, craft beer, wine, travel, and tourism talk coming up 9 to 10 a.m. right here on this station each Sunday Fun Day Hour, as we like to call it. Hey, we had scheduled to discuss some farm-to-school programs here in California that are the recipients of hundreds of thousands of dollars in federal grants from the USDA to help educate children on the importance of nutrition and sourcing produce locally, but we're going to do a little rearranging, and we'll take up that topic at 9:30 a.m. during our Sunday Fun Day Hour instead. But that's okay, because now we have time to focus on a really interesting, and I love this this idea. It's a nonprofit startup in the Central Valley, Merced County to be exact, with the goal of getting fresh fruits and vegetables, truly nutritious food, to some of our state's most serious food deserts. It's called a mobile farmers market, and it's run by a 501c3 called Make Someone Happy. Don't you just love that name? Don and Nancy Bergman are the minds behind this, and Don joins us right now on the Market Fresh live line to explain a little how it works. Welcome to the program, Don.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, nice to have you here. And first off, I just want to tell you how much I love what you're doing, and I'm wondering what gave you the idea to make this happen.
Well, Nancy and I have been helping out seniors that are homebound and foster children for some time, and we thought that we found out about the food deserts, and we found out there were so many people that we were helping didn't have food and didn't have healthy food, and so many children were obese, and the problems rampant in Merced County. So Nancy wrote a grant, and we responded to an RFP that Merced County wanted to do to fight obesity, and we got both of those, and so we're on the way.
I love it, and what it is a big truck, a semi-truck, that can bring this farmers market to these rural areas within Merced County. And if I understand correctly, you have it scheduled every single day of the week.
It's scheduled every single week at 11 different stops throughout the county. It goes from one end of the county to the other end of the county, and then through the other areas that are low income and food deserts.
Don, how did you choose the specific areas where you can stop and unload this? And I imagine you have to have some level of, permits in order to operate something like this, on public space.
Yeah, actually, we don't unload. The truck has been retrofitted with shelves, and so we sell right off the sides of the truck.
That's great.
And so it is not something that we have to unload or load or anything in that respect. So it's all one truck that is all self-contained.
Don, there's a bit of irony in the fact that California produces more than 50% of the nation's fresh fruits and vegetables. The Central Valley is, ground zero for that. Merced County, for sure. And then right there within Merced County, where so much of this fresh produce is being grown, people don't have access to it.
Well, that's because they export. They export it as fast as they can to the rest of the United States and overseas. It's really, it is ironic, quite frankly, that more is not being done. A lot of the growers are helping out and are really interested in the program. So I think maybe we can get a mindset throughout the Central Valley and also throughout California that we really need to take care of our own first.
You just got this off the ground, and I was reading an article in the local paper there, the Merced paper, that you weren't expecting much of a turnout on the first go-round, but just quite the opposite happened.
Well, yeah, the first, we did what my wife put together a rollout, and a lot of publicity on it, obviously, through the newspaper and radio and so forth. And, yeah, we had over 250 people that were at the rollout. It was exciting. We actually didn't expect to sell anything at the rollout, and we ended up had a good day of sales for a farmer's market area.
That is terrific. How do you do the pricing? Is there any level of subsidy on that level?
Yes, there is. Our pricing, we buy from certified farmers market growers. We've made contacts with a number of the certified growers, and we sell our produce 30 to 40% below what they sell their produce at it. But we have promised each and every one of them that we would not conflict with them or not be anywhere close to them when their market is going. We are in a different part of the community, and if they have a market, like for instance, our little town of LeGrand has a market in the summertime. Well, we won't be in LeGrand during the summertime because it would conflict with them.
So this will be a year-round endeavor?
It is a year-round endeavor. And the biggest challenge we're having right now is to get the produce that the people want, because everybody wants items that aren't being grown in the Central Valley. And we have part of our grant and part of our RFP for the county indicates we must buy from local growers.
Because I was just going to say, since our radio show is heard in Santa Cruz, Monterey, Santa Clara, San Luis Obispo, and Santa Barbara counties, there's so many growers here that probably grow some of the things you're talking about. It wouldn't help if they contacted you and sent you some of their items?
Yes, it would. Very definitely would help because we have the radius of 150 miles from Merced in a circle. Our first goal is to buy locally, and if something is not available out of the Merced growers, we can buy from out of the area especially in the fall and winter.
That's terrific. I left out San Benito County, which is probably the closest county to you. San Benito and Monterey counties, as you know, the salad bowls of the of the world, and that would be great. So hopefully if somebody's listening right now, how would they contact you, Don? It took me, I had to call the county of Merced to get your information. So
wow.
is there a direct?
I thought we put our information in the paper. I apologize. They can call me on my telephone, my cell number, area code 209-761-0815, or they can email me at my email site, which is Bergie, Bergie, 49er @yahoo.com.
Don, I'll put all that information on our website at eatdrinkexplore.com under today's program summary. Don Bergman with the Mobile Farmers Market. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for getting the word out.
All right, everyone, that does it for this hour of Market Fresh. Keep in mind, a whole nother hour coming up Sundays 9 to 10. This week's Sunday Fun Day Hour, tips for speeding your way through airport security. We'll also learn more about that farm-to-school program I was telling you about. And let's see, some unique food tours from LA to San Francisco. I'm your host, Randall White. We'll catch you soon.